Have you ever wondered why some people seem to glow with happiness after 70, while others just fade into the background? You've made it this far, through decades of challenges, triumphs, and everything in between. And yet, something might still feel heavy, like you're carrying a weight you can't quite name. The truth is, the secret to instant happiness at this stage isn't about adding more to your life. It's about letting go of what's holding you back. In this video, we're diving into the 8 things you need to ditch right now to unlock peace, freedom, and joy like never before. Stick around until the end, because the last one might just change everything you thought you knew about your best years. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. 1. The myth that you've learned enough. Think you've seen it all? That you've gathered enough wisdom to coast through the rest of your days? That's a dangerous trap, one that's all too easy to fall into. The second you convince yourself your learning days are behind you, you're not just hitting pause on growth, you're signing up for stagnation. And trust me, bitterness loves a stagnant mind. It creeps in quietly, turning you into someone who resents the world instead of marveling at it. Look at the happiest people in their 70s, 80s, and beyond. What do they have in common? They're curious. They're the ones picking up a book on a topic they've never explored. Maybe it's quantum physics or gardening in small spaces. They're asking questions, not just to fill the silence, but because they genuinely want to know. They challenge their assumptions, even the ones they've held for decades, and they're not afraid to admit they might have been wrong. That's not weakness, that's strength. A mind that's still growing is a mind that's still alive, vibrant, engaged, and open to the unexpected. Contrast that with the alternative, the person who leans on, "I've been around long enough," as if age alone hands out expertise like a participation trophy. It doesn't. Experience matters, sure, but it's what you do with it that counts. Clinging to the myth that you've learned enough shuts the door to new ideas, new perspectives, and new joys. It's a self-imposed exile from a world that's still brimming with things to discover. Imagine sitting at 70, thinking you've got nothing left to explore, while someone else your age is learning a language, tinkering with a new hobby, or debating philosophy over coffee. Who's living? Ditch the pride that says you've peaked. A little humility, acknowledging there's always more to know, cracks open a world of wonder. It's not about starting over. It's about adding to what you've already built. Read something that intimidates you. Ask a kid to explain their latest obsession. Watch how your days feel fuller, richer, and a whole lot less predictable. 2. Toxic relationships. By the time you hit 70, your time isn't just valuable, it's gold. Every hour, every conversation, every moment you spend is a finite resource, and you've earned the right to be ruthless about how you use it. So why on earth would you waste it on people who drain the life out of you? You know the types. The friend who only calls to unload a 2-hour monologue of complaints, never once asking how you're holding up. The family member tramples your boundaries like they're optional, leaving you tense and second-guessing yourself. The acquaintance who somehow always leaves you feeling smaller than when you started talking. These aren't just annoyances, they're thieves, robbing you of peace and energy you can't afford to lose. Here's the truth. You don't owe anyone your time or your soul, not out of obligation, not out of guilt, not out of some warped sense of duty. Cutting the cord doesn't make you cold, it makes you wise. It's not about holding grudges or burning bridges with dramatic flair, it's about quietly stepping away from what dims your light. Picture this, you say no to that draining phone call, and instead, you spend that hour with a cup of tea, a good book, or a friend who sees you. The difference hits you like a breath of fresh air. Take stock of who's in your orbit. Ask yourself, does this person lift me or drag me down? Do they respect my limits, or do they treat them like a challenge to overcome? Surround yourself with people who bring peace and joy, those rare souls who listen as much as they talk, who celebrate your wins without envy, who make you laugh or think or just feel at ease. They don't have to be perfect, they just have to be good for you. And don't let guilt trip you up. Society loves to preach that you're supposed to keep everyone close, no matter the cost, especially family. But at 70, you've paid your dues. You've got the scars and the stories to prove it. If someone's been toxic for years, no amount of history obligates you to keep handing them your happiness on a platter. Protect your time like the treasure it is, and watch how your days transform. Less noise, more calm. Less weight, more light. That's the gift you give yourself when you let go of what's been holding you back. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. 3. Clutter. Physical, emotional, and mental. Take a slow, deliberate look around your space. That faded sweater shoved in the back of your closet, unworn since the early 2000s, gathering dust and memories you don't even recall anymore. The stack of magazines you swore you'd read someday, now yellowing in a corner. The grudge you've been cradling since that argument in '95, its edges worn smooth from years of silent replay in your mind. These things, tangible and intangible alike, are anchors, tethering you to a version of yourself you've outgrown. Physical clutter isn't just an eyesore, it's a quiet thief, sapping your energy with every glance at the chaos. Studies suggest that a cluttered environment spikes cortisol levels, leaving you tense, distracted, and perpetually on edge, whether you consciously notice it or not. So start small. Donate that sweater to someone who'll wear it, toss the broken lamp you've been meaning to fix for years, and clear the space until it feels like yours again. But it's not just the stuff you can touch. Emotional clutter festers deeper, those regrets you replay at 2 a.m., the apologies you never spoke aloud, the what-ifs that cling like damp fog. It's the friend you lost over a petty slight, the parent you never fully understood, the version of yourself you wish you'd become. That weight sits heavy on your chest, crowding out peace. Letting go doesn't mean erasing the past, it means loosening its grip. Forgive what you can't change, even if it's yourself. Write that letter, even if you never send it. Speak the truth to the air if no one's left to hear it. And then there's the mental clutter, the endless to-do lists, the scrolling feeds, the noise of a world that never shuts up. Pare it down. Silence the notifications, delete the apps you don't need, and give your mind room to wander again. Free yourself from all this junk, physical, emotional, mental, and you'll feel the air shift. You'll breathe deeper, stand lighter, and rediscover a quiet that's been waiting for you all along. 4. The fear of aging. Society's woven a story we've all been taught to recite. Aging is the enemy, a creeping shadow that steals what we treasure most. Youth is the golden idol, taut skin, boundless energy, a future brimming with blank pages, while the years that follow are painted as a slow fade, a descent into irrelevance. We've sold creams to erase lines, dyes to banish gray, and surgeries to pull back time, as if growing older is a failure to fix rather than a triumph to claim. But stop and rethink the script. Aging isn't a thief slipping in to rob you blind. It's a craftsman, carving a badge of honor into your very being, one you've earned with every step through this wild, messy life. That silver strand glinting in your hair? It's a keepsake from a moment etched only in your memory. Maybe the night you danced until the stars blurred, or the winter you sat vigil by a bedside, or the day you chose to start over when everything fell apart. Those lines radiating from your eyes, deepening with every squint and smile? They're trophies, proof of the times you laughed until your sides ached, stared down fear until it blinked, and held someone close when words weren't enough. Quit peering into the mirror with dread, counting flaws that society invented. Look instead at the privilege staring back. You're still here, still collecting days, still writing your story. Aging isn't decline. It's a slow unfurling, a liberation that creeps up on you if you let it. It's the shedding of skins you no longer need, the urge to please everyone, the weight of strangers' gazes, the frantic chase for a perfection that doesn't exist. In your 20s, you might have obsessed over a misstep at a party. In your 40s, you shrug it off. By your 60s, you're too busy savoring the wine to care who's watching. Every year strips away a layer of pretense, leaving you rawer, truer, freer. The world might worship the shiny and new, billboards of flawless faces, headlines of young prodigies, but there's a fearless, bone-deep happiness that only comes with owning your years. It's in the way you walk into a room, shoulders back, not scanning for approval. It's the belly laugh that escapes without a glance at your reflection. It's the stories you carry. Decades of love, loss, grit, grace, that no one can rewrite or steal. Embrace it all. The twinge in your joints that reminds you of miles walked, the instincts honed by trials you've outlasted, the quiet pride of knowing you've made it this far. You're not winding down. You're rooting deeper, growing richer, blooming into something youth could only dream of. Claim that, celebrate it, and you'll tap into a joy that doesn't fade. A joy that glows brighter because you've dared to see aging not as an end, but as the fullest kind of beginning. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. 5. Waiting for others to make you happy. If you find yourself perched on the edge of your life, arms folded tightly across your chest, waiting for your kids, your spouse, or your closest friends to swoop in like some kind of happiness cavalry, bearing joy on a gleaming silver platter, you're in for a painfully long and disappointing vigil. Happiness isn't a DoorDash order you can place and expect to arrive hot and ready in 30 minutes or less. It's not a neatly wrapped gift that someone else can tie up with a ribbon and present to you on a special occasion. No one's going to magically unlock the secret to your contentment and hand it over with a smile. That's a fantasy, and clinging to it will only leave you bitter and empty-handed. Think of happiness as a garden, a wild, sprawling living thing that demands your attention and care. You're the one who has to roll up your sleeves, dig into the soil, and plant the seeds. You water it with intention, pull out the weeds of doubt or resentment when they sprout, and nurture it through seasons of drought or storm. It's not glamorous work, and it doesn't happen overnight, but it's yours to cultivate. So, stop twiddling your thumbs, and waiting for someone else to hand you the keys to a better day. Take ownership. Dust off that old sketchbook you abandoned years ago and start doodling again, even if the lines are shaky at first. Join a hiking group and let the crunch of leaves underfoot wake something up inside you. Sign up for that pottery class you've been eyeing, or strike up a conversation with a stranger who always walks their dog past your house at the same time each morning. Pursue the things that stir your curiosity or make your pulse quicken just a little. Whether it's mastering a new recipe, volunteering at a local shelter, or finally tackling that novel you've always wanted to read. When you grab the reins of your own life like that, something shifts. You stop peering out the window of your days, feeling like the universe is some stingy landlord who owes you a refund for all the tough breaks. Life doesn't owe you a single thing. It's not keeping a ledger of your grievances. But you owe it to yourself to carve out a corner of the world that feels alive, vibrant, and yours. It starts small, a single step, a fleeting moment of joy you create, and builds from there. That's how you stop waiting and start living. 6. Comparing yourself to the young. Do you ever catch yourself staring into the hazy glow of memory, longing for the days when you could lace up your sneakers and pound out a marathon without your knees staging a full-scale rebellion? Or maybe you think back to those reckless nights when you could dance until the sun peaked over the horizon, fueled by cheap beer and sheer willpower, only to shrug off the exhaustion like it was nothing. If you're stuck in that loop, wishing you could turn back the clock or keep pace with the bright-eyed 20-somethings posting their filtered lives online, you're booking yourself a first-class seat on the Misery Express. Nostalgia is a seductive liar. It airbrushes the past into something golden and flawless, conveniently glossing over the aching muscles, the awkward moments, and the questionable choices that came with being young. You're not 30 anymore, and that's not a curse. It's a badge of honor. You've weathered storms, collected scars, and kept going. That counts for something. Sure, youth has its dazzling advantages. Boundless energy that seems to recharge overnight, a metabolism that forgives midnight pizza runs, and a body that doesn't groan like a rusty hinge every time you stand up. But let's not kid ourselves. Those years came with their chaos, uncertainty, self-doubt, and a constant scramble to figure out who you even were. Now, you've got something far more valuable in your arsenal. You've earned wisdom, the kind that only comes from navigating life's messy twists and turns. You've got perspective, a lens sharpened by years of seeing what matters and what doesn't. And there's a depth to you now, a quiet strength forged in the fires of experience, that no TikTok influencer with a ring light and a viral dance can replicate. So, quit measuring yourself against the ghost of who you used to be, frozen in some sepia-toned highlight reel. And stop side-eyeing the latest crop of young guns, with their flawless selfies and carefree swagger, as if they've cracked some code you've lost. That's a game you can't win, and why would you want to? Instead, sink into the richness of this moment. Your moment. Celebrate the lines etched around your eyes, each one a story of laughter or tears. Honor the steady rhythm of a heart that's learned what it beats for. Lean into the power of now. Not the reckless abandon of youth, but the grounded, hard-won peace of knowing yourself. Happiness isn't hiding in the rearview mirror or glowing on someone else's screen. It's right here, stitched into the fabric of the person you've become, ready for you to claim it. 7. The heavy backpack of regret. Picture this. You're trudging through life, shoulders slumped, back aching under the weight of a tattered old backpack. Inside, it's stuffed to the brim with jagged souvenirs of the past. Missed chances that glint like shards of broken glass, harsh words you tossed out in anger that still rattle around like loose stones, roads not taken that twist and fork in your mind like overgrown paths you'll never explore. We all have them, these what-ifs and if-onlys, collected over the years like a hoard of burdens we can't seem to part with. They pile up quietly. Maybe it's the job you didn't take, the apology you never offered, the dream you let slip through your fingers because fear shouted louder than hope. And so, you carry them day after day, as if this heavy load is some kind of duty, a sentence you've imposed on yourself to atone for choices made or unmade. But here's the kicker. Dragging that regret around doesn't change a single thing about what's already happened. It doesn't stitch up old wounds or rewind the clock to that moment you wish you could redo. It doesn't build a bridge back to the person you were or the life you might have had. Instead, it digs its claws into the present, tainting every new sunrise with a stale taste of yesterday's mistakes. It's a thief, really, stealing the lightness from your laughter, the openness from your heart, the courage from your next step. So why keep hauling it? Imagine pausing right now, wherever you are, and slipping that backpack off. Picture it hitting the ground with a dull thud, the weight lifting from your frame, the air rushing back into your lungs. Forgive yourself, not because the past doesn't matter, but because you deserve to stop being its captive. What's done is done. It's a river that's flowed on, a storm that's blown through, a chapter sealed shut in the sprawling novel of your life. But the pages ahead? They're pristine, untouched, waiting for you to dip your pen into the ink of possibility and write something new. You're not just a passenger in this story. You're the author, the architect, the dreamer who gets to decide what comes next. Every what if you let go of is a brick removed from that load, a chance to stand taller, to breathe deeper. Lighten it, bit by bit, and you'll feel it. The spring in your step creeping back, the quiet joy of moving through the world unencumbered. The past forged you and tempered you like steel in a fire, but it doesn't get to chain you. Not anymore. Drop the backpack and walk on. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 3 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. 8. The lie that it's too late. There's a sly, persistent lie that loves to creep into our thoughts when we're feeling fragile or worn. It's too late. Too late to start over after the rubble of a shattered career or a love that unraveled like a poorly knit sweater. Too late to fall in love again when your heart's been patched up one too many times, or when the mirror shows more silver in your hair than you'd like. Too late to chase that wild, half-forgotten dream, the one you scribbled in a notebook years ago or whispered to a friend over late-night coffee, because life got busy, bills piled up, and the world convinced you to play it safe. It's a lie that wraps around you like a fog, thick and disorienting, urging you to sit still, to accept that your window's closed, your ship sailed, your story's already written. But let's call it what it is: absolute, utter nonsense. Look at the evidence strewn across the tapestry of human lives. People rewrite their scripts at every imaginable milestone, thumbing their noses at the idea that time locks doors. At 70, they launch companies with the reckless passion of youth, pouring decades of hard-earned wisdom into something bold and fresh. At 80, they strap on hiking boots or pick up a paintbrush, diving into adventures they'd once shelved, their eyes alight with defiance that says, "Watch me." At 90, they sit down to write books that spill with stories, or kneel in the dirt to plant tulips that'll bloom long after spring arrives, proving that existence itself is a canvas for reinvention. If your heart's still beating, if your chest still rises with each breath, then time isn't your jailer. It's your raw material, yours to mold and shape. That clock in your head, the one ticking down with grim finality, telling you your best days are dusty relics in a scrapbook? Smash it. It's a fake, A cheap prop designed to keep you small. Your best days aren't behind you, locked in some golden age you can only mourn. They're here, right now, pulsing in the ordinary miracle of this moment. They're in the choice to say yes, to try, to begin. They're waiting for you to stretch out your hand and claim them, to dust off that dream, to open your heart, to step into the unknown with a grin instead of a grimace. Age is just a number, a tally of trips around the sun. It doesn't dictate your potential. Experience does. Guts do. Belief does. So believe this, it's not too late. Not by a long shot. Let that truth sink in, let it spark something restless and alive in you, and you'll prove it with every move you make. Reinvention isn't reserved for the young or the unscarred, it's for anyone brave enough to ask, what if I started now? Answer that question with action, and the lie collapses under the weight of your becoming. You're not done. You're just getting started. Well folks, that wraps up our deep dive into the 8 things you need to let go of after 70 to spark instant happiness and truly transform the years ahead. Think about it. You've made it this far, outlasting challenges most can't even fathom. Wars, revolutions, personal highs and lows, and everything in between. You're still here, and that's no small feat, but now, it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving. And the key. It's not about piling on more stuff, more stress, or more expectations. It's about shedding the weight you've been carrying, the outdated beliefs, the draining relationships, the clutter, the regrets, and stepping into a life of peace, freedom, and joy that's waiting for you on the other side. So, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What have you learned so far from this video that resonates with you? Maybe it's the idea of staying curious and never stopping learning, or finally cutting ties with that one person who's been dimming your light for years. Perhaps it's the courage to stop fearing age and start embracing it, or the realization that happiness isn't someone else's job, it's yours. Take a moment to reflect. What's the one thing that stood out, the one lesson you're ready to bring into your life starting today? Drop it in the comments below this video. I'm excited to read your insights, and who knows, your story might just inspire someone else watching right now to take that same step. If this video spoke to you, if it gave you even a flicker of hope or a practical idea to try, please leave your comment below. We'd love to keep this conversation going. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit that like button, share this with someone who needs to hear it. Maybe a friend or family member over 70 who could use a little encouragement, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. We're here to help you make every year your best year, no matter where you are in life. Thank you so much for watching, for being part of this journey, and for showing up for yourself today. Here's to letting go, living fully, and proving that life after 70 isn't the end. It's a bold, beautiful beginning. See you in the next one.